Welcome back. The White House slamming MSNBC host Jen Psaki yesterday. She's a former Biden White House press secretary, and she criticized people for offering thoughts and prayers in the aftermath of Wednesday's church school shooting. Here is current press secretary Karoline Leavitt's response.
I saw the comments of my predecessor, Ms. Psaki, and frankly, I think they're incredibly insensitive and disrespectful to the tens of millions of Americans of faith across this country who believe in the power of prayer. It's disrespectful to the millions of Americans of faith. And I would encourage Ms. Psaki to pray for these families themselves who need it right now more than ever.
And we want to bring in Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Thanks for being here on set. That's a treat for us, indeed. Jen Psaki addressed this last night on her show. Let's watch.
People in power, like, say, people in the White House, who are using their platforms to do anything other than call for action for sensible gun safety measures. They're doing anything else, like attacking me, which is a waste of time. They're doing anything but saying what should be done to help prevent tragedies like the shooting in Minneapolis. And because they're not doing that, frankly, they're not doing enough. And people shouldn't accept they're doing enough.
I'll get your thoughts. I know that prayer is an important part of your life and your thinking this morning.
Well, it's incredible to me that Jen Psaki and Gavin Newsom and others would attack religion, diminish the faith of millions of Americans at a time of such great tragedy. There are a lot of common sense solutions, things that can be done to protect children at schools and in churches that do not involve taking away the constitutional rights of law-abiding American citizens. This is not a time to politicize these issues. We mourn for the families, the community that's affected there. I don't know if you saw, I'm sure you guys saw the father's remarks yesterday for that little boy who was lost, Fletcher Merkel. Just, it's such a heart-wrenching thing for all of us. And at the end of the day, the problem is not guns, okay, Jen Psaki? The problem is the human heart. It's mental health. There are things that we can do, solutions that we can come together to handle, but this is not the time to be.
Do you think specifically that there has to be some sort of accountability on the transgender front?
I think so. I mean, there's a common denominator to so much of this, right? The last one of these school shootings that we all saw and remember was another transgender. I mean, this is a mental health component to this that cannot be overlooked, and I think lawmakers and policymakers need to look at that very carefully.
Gavin Newsom decided to throw a tweet up yesterday that's getting a whole lot of attention, essentially implying that prayer doesn't work. He said, quote, these children were literally praying as they got shot at, and that was in response to a clip of Karoline Leavitt saying that people should believe in the power of prayer. That now has almost 7 million views online, and it has enraged conservatives. Your thoughts? It
should enrage conservatives. Gavin Newsom is ridiculous. He's become a caricature of something. I don't have words to respond to that. I cannot believe that he's gone that low to get attention, and that's what this is about.
Well, he's getting it, and some of the numbers show that sometimes the Democrats are responding to that. But the other thing that he's doing is trying to figure out a way to get on the fighting crime train. And President Truth posted this yesterday. President Truth also. I think he might like that nickname. Yeah. Okay, he said this: Speaker Johnson, Leader Thune are working with me and other Republicans on a comprehensive crime bill. It's what our country needs, and now more to follow. Make America great again. You know, I'm old enough to remember 1996 and the crime bill then that Bill Clinton pushed through. Is this a real possibility, and what would the broad parameters include?
It is a very real possibility. We cannot allow crime to destroy our great American cities, and it begins with the nation's capital. We have to end the crime wave. We have to clean up the city. We've got to make it beautiful again, because we are the shining city on a hill, and our capital should reflect that. The President's instincts are exactly right. We're working together. We're going to be bringing legislation to the floor in the next few weeks to address that issue first, that city, to deal with juvenile crime and the wave that's been, and to talk about these restrictive policing policies that have prevented law enforcement from maintaining the safety on the streets for residents and visitors. So there'll be a lot coming forward.
Do you think that you can get a bill to pass that would provide more funding to continue the National Guard presence in D.C.?
Listen, I'm all for it. I told the President, and yesterday morning we talked about this, and I said, we will give you the resources and the authority necessary to complete this job, because it is wildly popular. You've seen the Democrat mayor of D.C. came out and said, thank you for the reinforcements. We have to bring law and order back. We're the party, he's the president to do it, and we're going to show that to the people.
Not to give you a Gavin Newsom doubleheader, but he name-dropped you personally yesterday, essentially trying to say that crime is worse in Louisiana than it is in California. Take a listen. We'll get your thoughts.
If he is to invest in crime suppression, I hope the President of the United States would look at the facts. Just consider Speaker Johnson's state and district. Just look at the murder rate. That's nearly 4 times higher than California's in Louisiana.
Have at it.
Again, Gavin Newsom will do anything for attention. He can name drop me all he wants. He needs to go and govern his state and not be engaging in all of this. Look, we have crime in cities all across America, and we're against that everywhere, and we need to bring policies to bear. My hometown of Shreveport has done a great job of reducing crime gradually. But we've got to address it everywhere that it rears its ugly head. And I think every major city in the country, the residents of those cities, are open to that and anxious to have it. And we're the policy, we're the party that's going to bring that forward. I look forward to that in the days ahead.
Principally, though, how do you feel about federal presence in local jurisdictions for crime fighting?
There are emergency situations in some of these municipalities that require the National Guard. I mean, you see the effects in D.C. The crime has dropped dramatically just in a number of weeks.
What would you say to like Mayor Johnson, who says there's not a crisis in Chicago?
It's an absolute absurdity. Chicago is one of the most dangerous places in the world. Their murder rate, they don't even report murders on the evening news anymore because they're so common. The statistics are overwhelming, and it's ridiculous for him to deny that he needs assistance with that. So I hope the National Guard does go to Chicago.
So Democrats are playing around with the idea of potentially having what they're calling a mini convention next summer before the midterms. President Trump said Republicans are considering that. This is his Truth Social yesterday, quote, "We have raised far more money than the Democrats and are having a great time fixing all of the country, destroying mistakes made by the Biden administration. I am thinking of recommending a national convention to the Republican Party just prior to the midterms. It has never been done before." What are your thoughts on that?
I was in Detroit yesterday morning. He called me 15 minutes before that truth, and he said, "Mike, I've got a great idea." I said, "Let's have it." I'm so excited about this. I said, "Mr. President, let's go," because I think that would be such a great rallying point right before the midterm election for us to tout all the great successes we've had, to enjoy that. The president loves the idea of it. I do as well. We got to pick the right location, but look, I'm all for it, and I think it's going to be a great.
We'll see. Well, let us know the date so we can mark it on our calendars. One last question for you. There's a new poll out from Gallup on partisanship. You see this all the time, but this is the biggest gap they've ever seen. Satisfied with the direction of the country, 76% of Republicans say yes. Fewer than 1% of Democrats say yes. So does that present more of a challenge for you as you try to put through legislation, or are you just used to this now and there's no way out of it?
Well, it's kind of sad that this is the condition of our national politics. I will point out that the approval ratings of people within their own party, there's a wide chasm between that as well. We have our highest approval rating ever, Republicans in Congress, while the Democrats have the lowest approval rating ever of their own party. But the platforms of the two parties, there's a wide chasm as well. This is not your father's Democratic Party. They've gone full Marxist, socialist. They're going to elect a Marxist as the mayor of this great city, and it's a terrible trend. So, look, I'm for bipartisanship when we can do it. We want to bring common sense Democrats along with us to solve these problems. But if they're not willing to come along, we have to do it ourselves, and that's why we did the big, beautiful bill and all the reconciliation.
But will you be able to? What do you think that? I know that you'll probably say the Republicans can hold on, but how difficult will it be for Republicans to hold on in the midterms next year? When historically, it's
100% convinced we are going to grow the House majority next year.
Grow it.
Yes, we will. Listen, lots of reasons for that. I could give you a 90-minute slideshow, but we had a demographic shift in the 2024 election. We've delivered for them. They'll stay with us now. We have the most favorable election map that we've had in about 30 years. There are more Democrats sitting in Trump seats than Republicans in Harris seats by far. And the Democrats are in full free fall. You put all those things together, we're going to have a great year.
Sounds like a pitch for a mini convention.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Sounds like you're going to go on Water Show and call for a red wave.
Oh, I love it.
We'll see. All right. Thanks for being here, Mr.
Thank
Speaker.
You.
Great to have you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.